talk about it. Terry was, but the fire company's going to talk about this one.
Just has to load, that's all.
Thank you.
All right, let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance, please. Remove your hats. Everybody standing for a moment of silence. Stand up. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
I need them tomorrow.
Tom Brink,
Here.
Mike Kovacic,
Here.
Dan Smith,
Here.
Tom Dixon,
Hey.
Jeff Gallagher.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
There needs to be an announcement for the executive.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you guys all have a chance to read the minutes. Everybody good?
Can you be right out loud? Or-
Yeah, we're gonna be here a little bit.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. March 25th, 2024. Members present: Tom Brink, Mike Kovacic, Jeff Gallagher, Tom Dixon, Dan Smith. Employees present: Dan Mann, Casey Dick, Brian Beeson. Can everybody hear me? You guys have?
Thank you.
Yes. Brian Beeson, Daryl Morris. Yes. Leo Drass. Meeting called to order at 6 p.m. with the Pledge of Allegiance. Tom Brink motion for February 19th, 2024. Jeffrey Gallagher objected. Public comments. Mona Dibbler wanted to know if she can get the checking account balances. Tom Brink said he will look into it. TIMA titled the dismissed employee issue. As board members, you were informed that Attorney Heather Bosovich was asked by the dismissed secretary to attend March 2023 monthly meeting to discuss litigation matters. I learned municipal authority emails will reflect item 8. Board members were in agreement that Attorney Heather Bosovich was to attend at the time of the emails. The statements were false. Tim Irac asked Mike Kovacic and Dan Smith, do you remember executive session was held before the meeting was adjourned? Do you remember what was discussed at the executive session? Whatever was discussed must have been very important to advertise for a special meeting with board members on April 24th. 2023, only 7 days after the regular scheduled meeting, all board members were present except Mike Cossack. During that meeting, 3 board members voted to create a new position for the Water Authority to oversee all the employees. What problem was the board informed on? April 17th, 2023. Overflowing at the monument. The power washer isn't working properly, and it will, I don't know if these are out of order. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, they might be out of order here.
Next page should start on start, it should say meeting to
Yeah, I
oversee
got it.
employees.
Meeting to oversee employees, Mike Cossack and Dan Smith, was you guys in attendance for the meeting, May 4th, 2023, regular board meeting minutes reflect you both were there. Question is, are you two going to recognize the dismissed employee was brought into the executive session to discuss personal matters? If your answer is yes, she was brought into the executive session. We can't discuss what was discussed during the executive session, but if you guys say no, she wasn't there for the executive session, the minute shows she wasn't there for the executive session. Dan, was you ever asked to be part of the special meeting that was titled The Future of the Plant? IRAC stated he was asked on May 4th, 2023, but he declined. Was you informed Mr. Gallagher got a call on May 5th, 2023 from Attorney Bosovich expressing concerns with a previous employee? Did you know that dismissed employee tried to use LMA's attorney to have Tom Dixon removed from the board due to harassment? Dismissed employee had tried having Tom Dixon removed from the board from January 2023 to May 2023 by using the Arvona Council, Arvona Borough Solicitor, and also IMA Solicitor. Did anyone question how much money was spent on this? The answer the dismissed employee got from Arvona Borough is that they can't hire nor fire, just appoint. Almost a year later, no charges have been filed against Tom Dixon. The dismissed employee seems to be unclear on motions and recommendations made by board members is not harassment. After these issues were brought to my attention at the May 15th, 2023 meeting, Mr. Gallagher and I, as chairman and vice chairman, were met with Attorney Heather Bosovich on May 22nd, 2023 at the Water Authority plant to discuss employee matters in greater detail. I've also been informed motions made on rules and regulations were not amended into our current rules and regulations. These rules and regulations have not been updated in almost 20 years. The only changes are recorded with post notes and markers in the margin of an expired 1998 rules and regulations. If a customer was to request your current rules and regulations, how can you enforce these policies? Although I cannot discuss why I voted to dismiss the employee on November 20th, 2023, there is enough documentation and evidence that would lead us to take action. This section here, I am a board position. I was informed that my position was going to expire on December 31st, 2023. I'm sorry, I can't read this. I contracted the Cary Township Supervisor Dick Duncan to secure my seat for the upcoming reappointment. I was told if I was not reassigning, that would be me. Being reappointed in 2016, IMA minutes received an email from Donald Morrison. Being reappointed in 2016, IMA minutes received an email from Donald Morrison. His term expired on the IMA board. Tim asked why my position was ever advertised by law or in the local news media. IMA bylaw states at least one Vicari customer should be on the IMA board. In 2016, IMA minutes stated we appoint Tim Irac on the IMA board, but he will be represent Vicari Township. It states in the IMA minutes that I contacted Vicari Township for my intent for a reappointment. Tim believes he was not reappointed due to his unpopular community vote to dismiss an ex-employee from IMA. On November 20th, 2023, and the borough being misled with false accusations, I have received documentation that shows a dismissed employee has been handpicking people on my board members for years. I did not know that when I was appointed that I was going to need a letter of intent of interest because my letter of interest was typed and supplied by Ken Caldwell and the dismissed employee for IMA. This is also true for dismissed employees relative that currently sits on the IMA board. I would love for both sides of the story to come to light. Tim expresses he has a lot of documentation and would love to still be part of the IMA board. Hopefully more citizens will consider this new position equality. Mike Cossack asked Tim Irick, said that Tim had mentioned there was a meeting with Jeff, yourself, and the attorney. Cossack asked Dan Smith, was you invited to that meeting? And Smith said no. Cossack said that what is that all about? He said another thing you brought up about the relative being on the board. What is that all about? Lincola Gallagher was speaking on behalf of IMA customers that have a concern about the IMA employee that has been working with Verona Borough. She asked if that is illegal for the IMA employee to be doing that. Does IMA and the borough have a written agreement? The IMA needs answers. IMA should take care of IMA. Tom Ring said that both boards, IMA and Verona Borough, agreed to share work. Kelly Redbaum wants to know what is going on with her water pressure. Brian Beeson said it will not be fixed before May. His main concern is high-quality water. Tom Dixon said IMA has the materials. Kelly expressed she wants her water fixed. Gary Spade, a formal objection has been filed with the Ethics Committee for February 19, 2024 meeting that he objects to the minutes for the meeting. Jerry mentioned he has given out a packet that is a petition in regards to equality or whatever. That is, if there are 4 borough individuals on the AMA board, that there should be 4 Buchanan Township individuals. Jerry said he has the files from ethics that have been filed against TIMA, IMA. The borough filed for an advisory. There is cause for this relief, and that the hopes that a board member will make a recommendation for relief. There should be equality. Jerry said he has the right to take this to the Commonwealth, please, if nothing is done. He said that is not a threat, it's a promise. Carl Witosick, I can't spell his name, I think it's Witosick, spoke on behalf of St. Basil Church and why they are receiving 3 bills with 1 service line. Jeffrey Geller spoke up and asked why are they being charged for so many bills. Carl said he has came to meetings going back to 2010 and never can get an answer. Tom Ring said it will get looked into and he will get some answers. Carl said this can be traced back to 2007. This has been ongoing. Kelly Redbaum wanted to know who created these bills and who said to do it. Carl expresses that just like that, an explanation. Mona asked if the February minutes are voided, what does that mean for Vicky? Is that the board still going to vote to bring her back? Tom Brink said he has to talk to the solicitor, that he doesn't know what that means with minutes being voided. Bill McCusker said he hasn't seen so much democracy that is with IMA that months later nothing has been done and no work is being done either. He hasn't seen any real improvement. That customers need to protect them. The job needs taken serious. Don't go back to the ways things used to be. Bills that just go water. Bill just wants good water. So Bill just wants good water. So he can hand his property over to his son. Jeffrey Garr spoke about Section 710 PA Sunshine Act comment action before the board can be voided. Donna Morrison is requesting a February 2023 financial report. Lincola Gallagher asked if there are going to be an audit. Some people asked, what is the audit and who has done it in the past years? What is the procedure? Tom Dixon said IMA is to hand everything over to them, but then there's a lot of things that are questionable, and he's signing off on until he goes through some things. That if things are wrong, it's been sent to the district attorney. Tamarack asked about financial statements in the past, and months later he asked again, then the former secretary started providing the statements. That board members should know about the finances and how much money is available. Donna Morrison asked why has the attorney been to meetings. She feels that it is a waste of money for the MA. Jeffrey Garr said the solicitor is here for you or protection. Donna said if protection is needed, then people are doing things that shouldn't be done, shouldn't be. Jerry Spade asked if people can be notified of the discloseout of an audit. It was asked about the filters, and Ryan said that they have asked for 10 years. Donna Morrison said there should be money for the filters. She don't care what account it comes from, but IMA should have it, and if they don't, there is a problem. Tracy Sorrell asked, did IMA get a grant, and if so, when did and how much? The address said MPDES permit renewal application submitted. PennVest closing is complete. ECH needs finalized. First PennVest reimbursement request is prepared. Submittal review is ongoing, and tentatively CNR expects to start near end of April. Jeffrey Gallagher asked Leo how long are they expecting the project to take, and Leah said 3 to 4 months. Operator's report. Ryan asked those for air compressor to be replaced, asked for approval for a new compressor from Rockwell. The millings are $5 a ton. IMA is responsible for hauling them from Asheville. Ryan is asking for $250 at $5 a ton plus hauling. Jerry Knowles' leak was repaired. The storage tank needs done ASAP. The taillight in the silver truck is broken and doesn't know what happened. The reservoir is full and overflowing. I did see that one. At the moment, the power washer isn't working properly and it will be too much to replace it. There is a quote for $7,000, but it's not Ryan's recommendation to spend that much on a power washer. The fluid meter is going to need replaced, the air compressor, the storage tank, and the membrane needs to be done within the next 12 to 18 months, estimating at a total of $125,000. Ryan wants a better grasp on the finances. The meters were read March 4th through 7th. The bills were sent out March 18th. There are still 4 meters out there that need their attention. Damian took his operator test March 15th, 2024. Office report. Motion to pay bills. Jeffrey Gallagher motions to pay bills. Tom Dixon seconds. All in favor. QuickBooks is up for renewal by May 31st. No clarity on the cost. Tom Brink suggests asking Mary Beth what is her recommendation. Tom Dixon motions to add Tom Brink, Tom Dixon, Casey Dick to all accounts at Northwest and pledge it. Tom Dixon motions, Dan Smith seconds, all in favor. Dan Smith makes a motion to hire full-time labor, Mike Fosdick seconds, all in favor. Dan Smith motions to terminate the old operator's agreement, Mike Fosdick seconds, all in favor. Jeffrey Gallagher motions for new operator agreement, Tom Dixon seconds, all in favor. Tom Dixon motions for the purchase of the millings from PennDOT, Mike Fosdick seconds, all in favor. Jeffrey Gallagher motions to approve the funds for the air compressor. Dan Smith seconds. All in favor. Tom Brick apologized for last week's meeting being canceled. They did hold an executive session to discuss operator agreement and employee matters. Jeffrey Gallagher offers to adjourn at 8:10 p.m. Mike Fosdick seconds. All in favor. Actually, they've enjoyed the proof for here. Okay. I think that's it.
Thank you for reading those.
Yeah, it was a lot.
You did real well.
There's only one thing I object on these meeting minutes, and the guest list is not added. Like it says the guest Leo DeGrasse, but there were other people here. We should have that list somewhere and it needs to be added.
So we'll have to make them. Say what?
Wasn't the meeting at 7? Last time it was 6.
It was the 6th last month.
Yeah, that does say that. It says meeting called to order at 6 p.m.
We did hold it at 6 too. So I think if I'm researched this correctly, if we're going to make an amendment to the minutes, we have to vote on that. So you're saying you're making a motion to make that amendment?
Yeah, make the amendment to turn on add the complete guest list.
The motion's been made to add the complete guest list to the March minutes. Is there a second? Jeff Gallagher made the motion. Is there a second?
Do we have the list?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second that.
Smitty seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Yeah, being a big deal. So that's that. So, motion to approve, going off the agenda, motion to approve February minutes. So we did some discussion about this in the executive session. We're going to table that for now. We have to. We have to do some talking with the solicitor and stuff about that. So before I go any further, before I forget again, we did an executive session prior to this meeting from 6 to 7 to discussing things like that nature and other employee matters also, and wages and things like that. So just so everybody's aware of that. Public comments. Jerry, do you want to go first, or do you want to? You're down in under public comments, but public comments?
I have some.
Go ahead, Donna.
I have an operations agreement here with Vernon Borough for the $265,000 to put in the water plant, to put in the water system. And Beccaria, Rosebud, and Blaine City asked to be put on, and they put the lines to Rosebud and Blaine City. I also have, we did, Arbona did. I have a copy of the minutes, and I have when council voted to put the water system in, I have an operations agreement, and anybody's welcome to look at it. Jerry wanted me to copy them for him at the last meeting, and I wouldn't give them to him, and he pouted and took off. He was upset because I wouldn't have the copy. These are my...
Objection.
Let's just go ahead. Sorry.
I think he's kind of accusing me of stealing this stuff, but I was on the IMA board for 8 years. I had all this stuff handy, and I was in we had it in the borough office over there.
You said,
Where the water authority and the
Yeah.
IMA,
you said,
not the water authority and the borough had the meeting.
yeah,
And I got my information from there with permission.
you said, can we look at those, you said?
Yeah, I can make copies and give them to you.
Well, you can just, maybe just let them hear them, we'll look at them, if you're okay with that. Does anybody else object to her letting us look at them?
Are those originals or?
I doubt that. Are they?
What?
They're not originals, are they?
Well, no, they're copies, because I copied. Why else wouldn't I copy?
I'm just asking, I don't know, there's been saying that there have.
Is there,
things that.
we're gonna move on to the next thing here. Is that all you had, Norm? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. This
Okay.
is it.
Anybody else?
Am I on the agenda?
You're on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. I've been a customer for 46 years. That's older than a lot of you guys are
Older
up
than
there
me, I
in
think.
age. And so I feel as though I have a right to ask a couple questions. I think I'm going to use you, Ryan, to answer them. You seem to be the guy to answer the questions. Say you come up to my place and you was reading my meter, and you see that I had it disconnected. What's the penalty for that?
Well, that's going to be talked about. I reached out to Heather for the bylaws, and she forwarded me on the regulations, the rules and regulations of the authority. So the way that I would handle that is I would send a certified letter to your residents, giving you a certain period of time to do so. If you do not make the changes in time, or didn't allow us to make the changes in time, we would shut the water off. If the water was turned back on, then it would be a fine and other things.
What if I was a repeat offender? Then what? Same thing over again?
Can't answer that. It would be passive.
Can anybody else answer that?
Well, if you use the water without the meter in, that's self-services.
Exactly.
Right.
What if I was a board member and I was doing that? Would I still be allowed to be on the board?
Again, I would forward that to this
And
list.
do you think the customers would trust me to represent them, the IMA customers?
I don't know, again, it would be forwarded on this list.
Can anybody else answer that?
Matters.
I know what you're referring to. I pay $30 to have.
I don't
my
refer to anything.
I have it
I never
disconnected in the fall and
You're
reconnected
telling on
in the
yourself.
spring.
You're telling on yourself.
No,
Yes.
All right.
I pay to have that done.
I have the floor. I have the floor.
No, you do, I know. Yeah, but we're not gonna argue back and
Yeah.
forth either.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
I have one more thing. I do not think he should be going over Vicky's books. I think it should be an independent person going over them. He's not qualified to do it.
And that's where it's going, to the auditor.
I'm not talking about an auditor. I'm talking about an individual. You're going over them and saying they're not right. How do we know you're not messing with them?
I do have a comment to make on that.
What?
I have something to add to that too. So I did call Mick Catalano, or whatever, however you,
Mike Callahan.
Mick, he said his name is Mick.
Oh,
I'm pretty
Nick,
sure.
that's his brother.
And I just wanted to clarify, because I know there was some stuff brought up. He said he's never had any issues with any of
That's right.
Vicky's. And that's all I can tell you is what he told me.
I know.
Okay.
That's the truth.
So,
So
That's-
don't be calling people names.
we're not gonna, yeah. Next, anything?
Wouldn't a forensic audit clear that up? Thank you.
Well, that was brought up in January's meeting,
What's that?
the forensic audit, wasn't it?
I mean, in Vicky's defense or in Casey's defense, if I were to step in to Vicky's shoes, I would want a clean plate. If I was Vicky, I would want my name wiped clean. So forensic audit is up to you guys. If you get a forensic audit, then there's no questions. Everybody's protected.
You would make a case and kind of, and then do the audits every
You-
year.
Yeah, obviously, yes, but as somebody coming in, I wouldn't care if they did it or not. I would want them questions, like, I want a clean slate.
There's,
Clean slate. Then there's
there's-
no questions. Everybody's protected.
there's been some-
Everybody
there's-
should be protected.
There's been some discussion about that, and I think,
Keep everybody safe.
I think I don't know nothing about it, so I can't really comment on it. I don't know what it entails or what, but I know it's been discussed. So,
I think his needs addressed.
what?
His needs addressed about the meter being disconnected.
I can talk about it. So to clear the air and stop the rumor mill, I did send a certified letter out to Mr. Dixon.
I wasn't referring.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you what occurred, okay? Because I know what you were getting at. I know that you didn't say any names, but I know that the rumor mill's gonna get out there. I sent a certified letter to Mr. Dixon. We went to read the meters. The meter wasn't installed. I gave him until Monday today at 3 p.m. The meter is installed. It's working. That issue's been put to rest. Anybody else out there that we come across, I just told you earlier, your meter's disconnected. It's gonna be handled the same way, certified letter.
My opinion,
Yeah,
it should be
you're
that way.
part of
across the
that.
board.
I have that
In my
disconnected
opinion,
in the fall.
if you're a board
80
member
for
or
it.
a
Yes,
customer,
so I will
meter's
clarify.
unhooked,
And
It
the
should be
authority
business
has to
same way.
rehook it when I want it
I
back
will
on.
clarify that.
my opinion.
So again, to go into that issue, there's different customers who get their water shut off if they're not using it. If it's a seasonal business or if it's winter, winterized, if you're moving down the floor, you're not using water, you shut it off, because if you get a leak, you don't want that water running. And that customer does have his water shut off in the fall and started back up in the spring. So,
Question for clarification.
yes,
Are you saying that a customer can install an it?
no, no.
Thank you.
We do that,
Customer can't touch anything.
Well,
yes.
Board member can't do it either. It has to be
The
the
proper way,
employee.
the proper
Thank
way,
you.
the proper
Thank
way
you
to
for
do
the
that, it
clarification.
shouldn't even be turned on until the meter, you know you're gonna get a reading if you're turning it on and off. It should
so would
never
they
be
shut
turned
it
on.
off? I mean, right, should it be shut off? Should the water be shut off? Like,
Immediately.
if I was a repeat offender?
It is at the attack.
I would say that, again, that would be passed on to the solicitor. I'm hoping not to run into that issue again, but
I have a right to ask those questions.
I understand, and I'm going to answer them the best that I can. If it becomes a legal matter, the solicitor will be involved. But the issue that I believe that you were referencing has been put to rest. As
So he
of
did
right
have
now.
it on the whole time? You're saying he had it on because you sent him a letter?
The meter was off last week when we went to get the meter readings.
Okay.
It was off.
So-
I sent a certified letter last week when we found it, giving him until Monday today at 3 p.m. to install it. We had to go out and install it.
Okay.
So I need access to the property, give him a few days. If he wasn't going to let us have access to it, I would have shut the water off.
Now, was that the first time
It
that
was
that
not an
happened?
issue. It was, as far as I'm aware, under my time, this is the first time I've come across.
It's every year.
Over a year.
Every year.
Because he gets it shut off.
I have to
In the
shut
winter.
off. I have to pay 30? No, shut off and on.
Yeah,
30 to have it shut off and 30 to have it turned back on.
He turned the new one off.
we do.
You turned
He requests to have the water shut off in the fall.
Okay.
And then he calls us and we go out and turn it back
When you
on.
went to read the meter, it was what? Disconnected?
It was not hooked up.
So why?
Yeah, that's kind of my question.
Yeah.
You know, but I
I
didn't.
wasn't here.
So is that, so the water wasn't going, he wasn't getting any water.
No, it's off after the curb
So
started.
because the meter was off, he still wasn't getting any water,
Curb
so he
stop.
wasn't stealing anything.
The water was turned on last week when we were out
there.
there. And I gave him 5 days to turn the meter, for us
I guess
to
I'm confused.
install the meter.
Whether he was getting water. while
For a few days,
He
yes.
was unconnected prior to this,
For a few days, he would have been getting water.
but not prior to you going up.
No. No, 'cause the water, we had to turn the water on last week.
Who unhooked it?
We do, when he asked
No.
for it to be unhooked.
His, when it.
I wasn't here for that. I don't know who unhooked it prior to me.
Dan, did you unhook it?
I think Donald shut it off, but I'm not 100% sure. It's either Donald or Dan, one of the two.
Brian, I have a question, going back to the, you said you sent a certified letter. Who would have been like known of that certified letter? Like, just you, like who was, would have any employees, board members known about that?
I reached out to the president to let him know the decision that I made to do that.
I just feel like that's kind of like a breach of confidentiality though, too, of something like other like community members knowing, like kind of like a confidentiality. I'm not letting it, I'm just saying like if it's
Yeah.
getting out, like that's to be brought up.
Maybe I should have done it that way. I made a decision and
So are
let
you
the board
making
know what I was doing.
accusations that it came from the president?
No, I'm not, I'm just asking where, like. to me,
I can
like,
tell you
it's
it didn't come from
confidential.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I just asked who was.
I made the
like,
decision to
how it-
send a certified letter, and if that was wrong, the board can scold me for it, but
No, I don't
that's
think
how
he
I'm
was-
gonna
I think he
handle
was
every
right.
situation.
No,
when
it
we
was
go
right.
across.
He was right to send a letter.
No, yeah, I mean, that is the right thing to do,
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
was.
saying how that information then got.
Well, how does Vision Press get all the information they get?
Exactly.
Holy man, they get more information. He knows everything that we're all trying to figure out.
Yeah, he
All
does.
So,
you do is
yeah.
look at the minutes, look
Yeah,
at the
look at the
minutes.
meeting minutes, go do it right now.
He even had a thing on there that he had a reason why the previous secretary was fired, and we never knew that.
That's
And it
right.
wasn't in the minutes, Jerry.
No, it wasn't in the minutes. And
I don't think you can put that in the minutes.
No, you can't put that in the minutes. Well, how's he getting all that information? Yeah, let's figure that out. I think what you should do is call HIPAA. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Hey, let's move on,
Right?
Hey, let's
Well,
move.
before we move on,
Hey, let's, calm down, everybody, calm down.
It was medical.
Calm, we know. Calm
Yes,
down.
it is. Medical or an
Go ahead,
existing.
before we
Ron.
move on,
Trust, yes.
Go ahead.
again, that was a decision that I made. Does the board have any objections to the way that I handled things?
No, I don't. I think he handled it
I
right.
do,
Okay.
because if Dan would have been doing his job, he would have hooked the meter up when he turned the gate bell
It's not your fault.
on. He didn't do his job.
Okay, well, I'll take the responsibility for that, but moving forward, that's how I'm gonna handle it if I find that the meter's off.
If the meter's
Any
off-
objections to that?
No, if the meter's off, it shouldn't even be turned on.
Shouldn't have been turned on. But he should have, he come down and turned the gate valve on and then hook the meter back up. I can't hook the meter up, that has to be an employee.
Is there a work order for this?
I have no idea.
Is there a work order to unhook it?
He just, yeah,
Unhook
there is
the
every
meter.
year.
To unhook the meter?
Huh?
To unhook the meter?
Shut it off in the fall, usually first of November,
Shut the water off or shut the meter off?
both.
Okay.
You have to take the meter out of the freeze.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yes.
One more clarification, because it sounds like people are trying to make an allegation that you put a bridge in between and the water was free flowing. I'm assuming when you took the meter out, there was no bridge put in so that the water would flow through. Is that correct? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I
He's
understand.
saying that you don't need to bypass. There's just construction, the ground goes through the meter.
I don't believe that there was a bypass put in,
Thank you.
not to what I saw when I was there.
Thank you for the clarification.
Again, I'm looking at one part of the building, but from what I saw, no. Dan, do you see any objection to that?
No.
Dan was with me when we went out to investigate stuff.
That it? Anybody else? Okay, no other public comments. We'll move on to Jerry Spade's request for, I don't even know how to pronounce it or whatever, but I'll make it short as best I can and clarify as best I can. So he wants to have, did you say something? Did I do something wrong?
Huh?
Okay. So Jerry's request has been to add more Victoria Township people to the board. And I have a letter here from Heather Bosevich, who's the attorney, who did some research on it, and she gave me something in writing, and I passed it around to all the board members. You've all read it, right? You didn't read it?
I'm reading it.
Tom, you want to read it?
He's reading the
What
memo.
do we vote on?
Can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it? Okay.
Where's the page? Was there, no, is there 2 pages?
There's 2 pages.
I only have 1.
What's the second one?
I got page 2 of 2.
With 1? May I pass that down?
What my request, Mr. Chairman, if I may speak,
Go ahead.
it's for equity, equal. I'm not saying that it has to be 4 and 4, it could be 2 and 2. The idea is equity, and that's the motion I'd like one of you, the board, honorable board members to make, that it would be equity, because that's the statute, and I included the statute in there. So,
Do you want to
that-
read? Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
did she add it also, the equity
Well,
clause?
I'm not in, you can read it, I'll let you read it.
Okay.
I'll let these guys read it.
I yield the rest of the time, but that's what my request was. It wasn't for specific numbers, it was for equity, that if you have 4, Arbona, there should be 4 Beccaria. And I did give you credible evidence that the ethics board did state that it was a partnership for a long period of time.
Ethics,
One word.
I'm not an attorney.
That's what I presented the last time.
So,
was the ethics. And I can bring, I didn't bring it with me, but I can forward it in the email to you.
From what I've researched, this is just what I've researched. Like I said, I'm not an attorney, I'm just a welder. Ethics pretty much only deals with financial gain. That's it.
That's true. The reason why I did it was they gave facts. They presented a finding of facts from the attorney, and the attorney said that there was a partnership.
Yeah, there is a partnership there, but
Thank you.
it's
That's why I only referenced the ethics committee, not for finances.
yeah, that's basically all. What I've researched, that's all they deal with. Is like
Right.
monetary gain is what they call it. So
That's not entirely true.
well, that's what she told me.
Well, the reason I say that is because it took me 7 years to turn around and find that on June 16th of 2016, I was part of an investigation and I wasn't even on the board yet.
I'm just telling you what
So it
else.
wouldn't have been no financial, it wouldn't have been nothing financial.
I'm just telling you what the attorney from there told me. So.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman.
Yeah. So, has everybody read it? All the board members? Dan, do you read it?
I read it.
Okay, so is there a motion for this?
I motion.
In 1991, the attorney for the water authority, Gates and Seaman, made a resolution that we could put one board member on, and that's all we're putting on.
So Jeff Gallagher made a motion to accept Jerry's request. Is there a second?
Now, if we make a decision on that, that's still up to the.
Oh, yeah, so I guess I should have clarified that to the board too. So if it passes the IMA board, from what I read, then it goes to the Arvada Borough Council to approve it. And this paper's here, if anybody's welcome to read it, I'll leave it here. Before I leave, I'll take it with me, but you're welcome to read it. Anybody who wants to read it, you're welcome to read it. So Jeff Gallagher made a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Okay, no second being.
I'll second it pending what the borough says.
Tom Dixon seconds, depending on what the borough says. I'm not so sure that's really a second. I don't know if you can do that.
It's their decision anyway, if we want it, they want it.
Can I interject one more thing, Mr. Chairman? I know that the board is doing it as a courtesy to the borough, but you are a corporation legally in Pennsylvania. You're an entity unto yourself.
Well,
You're autonomous. Whatever you decide.
What I'm not is an attorney.
Yeah.
She is, and I'm going by what she's telling me.
But I've had corporations.
Jerry's not an attorney.
No offense to
I have
anybody.
had corporations, and they treat me, the IRS treats me, my corporation, as an entity unto itself. So that's
Okay.
my point.
Okay.
Just table it to the next
Well,
meeting.
we're just going to get this out of the way. Sorry, but no.
I'll second it.
Tom seconds it. All in favor?
Roll call vote?
Roll call vote? Go ahead, Casey. Want to do a roll call?
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Jeff?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Tom?
No.
Mike?
No.
Dan?
No.
Request is denied.
Thank you for considering.
You're welcome.
I'll be back again.
Next order of business. Terry Collins, that would be the fire company. You guys want to speak to him? What's that? No, that's fine. That's fine.
Before we get going, I want to thank all you guys for all the help you provide.
Well, we thank you for putting us to use the fire hall.
You guys were all a big help tonight. We had fun.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
But anyway, what we want to start out with is, we brought this up a couple years ago, and it's just kind of shut down an industry.
Okay.
We'd like to actually see all the hydrants in the borough fitted with quick connects.
Okay.
Now, in case of a fire now, you're talking us pulling into a hydrant, somebody has to drag that big ass bag off the truck, and depending on what we're at, which most of them have the 4.5 inch, we're using it, they gotta hook this, then pull the line off the back of the truck, and snap it in. Now, I don't know if anybody's paid attention to Coldport, or even Reed, they all have.
I've been looking since Terry brought it up to me. I have been looking for them.
You're talking a hookup of 5 to 8 minutes down to seconds, which would save, I mean, we did the pricing on it. To do the 10 big hydrants here in town is $3,100. I mean, if it saves one person, it pays for itself.
I agree with
What
that.
about the small ones on Julia?
Well, that's another thing we want to talk about.
That's the other fitting, which we have to get the right fitting. There's 4 hydrants in town that were put in prior 1980.
Yeah, they're 1950,
Yeah,
between 50 and 60.
that does not have the 4.5 inch coupler. They're 2.5 inch coupler, which nobody anymore has 2.5 inch hydrant hookups in any fire department. Glendale, Madera, none of our mutual aid companies have. So when they come in and hit a hydrant, if they have hit the one at Johnson's, the one in the alley, or the one up by Dave's, they're gonna have to come to our truck to get this piece to hook up.
So basically what we're saying is the 4 hydrants in town, we
Yeah,
guys like
yeah.
to see replaced.
You need them replaced.
Need them
We'd like
updated.
to see them replaced with the bigger, the 4.5 inch.
Because if you realize the difference between a 2.5 inch flow of water and a 4.5 inch flow of water, you can tell me what gallon per minute that comes out.
And what's sad is the 3 of the 4 are on your pump,
On your
That-
biggest line.
That's the biggest problem.
Right.
Julia Street, you know, coming off from the tank, coming down to the creek.
But we also seen you
That's
guys
the most
change, we
practical.
also watched you guys change your hydrant in less than 3 hours too.
Well, that's just the thing though, but
You know,
you need to turn, we need to be able to isolate it down and then quickly get in, get out. But
Right.
it's something that needs to be
did
pointed
you
out.
guys see the prices for the couplers that go?
No, Tom had them with
Yeah,
Fred.
Tom has them.
The fire hydrants last time, I think we kind of looked at them, they were between $5,000 and $6,000 a piece, so.
If you drive around and look anywhere, you'll see the Storks connectors on almost all the hydrants. If you go to Vicaria, up over Glen Hope Hill, all those hydrants have Storks
Terry came
connectors,
to
just
us
for
with
that
this.
same reason.
He came to us with this the last time, and we kind of said about maybe splitting half and half or something like that, but he also turned and said that he was gonna try and look into seeing if we could got some type of grant. Or even, like, if you got partial, if you, like.
There
if you
won't be
paid your
anything
side-
for us for the public system.
No,
No, we can't do that.
okay.
That's usually what I'm looking
The
at.
only time we get grants is for what we have.
I think that grant money's supposed to
Because
be.
we actually gave Tom one for Vicaria Township too,
You know, we
which
have-
really don't concern us that much because.
But it is on your system, and
Did
if
they
you're
get
gonna
any
do,
money?
if you're gonna do one, you're
I'm
gonna need
thinking
to do
the
the
borough
other
didn't
too.
get money for it.
Kelly knows up in
Nobody
Coolport, well, all the Coolport
Borough.
hydrants have the quick
Yeah, you see
connector.
them, they're
But
shiny,
Vicaria,
they're stainless
and
steel.
it's just like, you grab the hose, pop it on, turn it on, you have water coming.
So I guess my question to you is this all or nothing? You want them all done all at one time?
We'd like to have the borough done.
Yeah, we're here for the borough.
We're here for the
Depending
borough.
on the borough. And I think we gave you the price for the borough ones. And now there is one for Vicaria Township, but that don't.
That covers,
That's gonna be better
their
for
fines.
Coolport.
That's something maybe you can discuss with Vicaria Township on
Yeah,
doing.
maybe they can split
Well,
it with
it's
us.
nice though, if Coldport would come and help you guys fight a fire, they can connect.
Right,
You
right.
come and help Coldport fight a fire,
Well,
you guys.
I'll give you a good example. When Beef,
Yeah.
but when Beef's house burned over here by the park,
Yeah.
okay, we were.
Mark Peterson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark Peterson, sorry.
I know who you meant.
But we were short-handed that day.
Yeah.
Dudley was there, myself, who else? Beaver, anyway. We only had like 4 guys. So for us to hit the hydrant, we didn't have time. We went straight to the house, pulled the line. Coldport had to come in and hit the hydrant.
Right, and they had to come down to our
Well, and everything,
Precious time.
yeah, that's, everything, time's very precious.
Because on
with
our
that stuff
truck,
like
the
that.
truck we had here, we had 1,000 gallons to work with until they came from Coalport to get the hydrant system going.
Could the borough get, grants to put that in? Apply for a grant
The borough?
for
They might be able to.
for the borough.
Well,
I
okay,
think you would have to look at that, if you've been there for a long time, and Karen, you know, this, what is it, CD, I'm horrible with these acronyms.
Community development.
And
Would that be something? That's only one of the ones that I've ever apparently heard. But I've been here for 7 years, and this $1.7 million project's the first thing that I've kind of seen where we've actually got grant money.
one of the big issues with historic standards right now
Mary Tatum.
Mary Tatum does.
is, I don't like to say this, on these storage connectors, those 4 hydrants, you can't get them.
You know, we can't.
We bought that connector probably 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They don't make them anymore.
so the hydrant needs
Because nobody
replaced.
nobody has the 2.5-inch hydrants anymore.
So that hydrant needs replaced, you're saying?
Well, that's all, it's only 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the bigger they are. Johnson's,
And actually,
the Alley,
not to
Dave.
sound ignorant, but if you, the power that's pulled out, that 2.5 ain't gonna.
Right, we're gonna give you, ain't gonna give you volume.
Yeah, we can't pull 1,500 gallon in and out of a 2.5-inch.
So, wonder if, we should table this and see, maybe Nels,
Mary Tatum does grants.
and,
Some of them she charges for.
That'd be something for the road, for the borough, look for them adapters and maybe try to get a grant for 4 hydrants, to update them 4 hydrants.
well, that's what I was gonna, I could probably reach out to Dallas Kepler also and see if there's
You're
something.
talking $6,000-7,000 there a hydrant.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's something that we need.
I mean, we're not even saying
But
this has to be
if
done
you
tomorrow.
need it, it's
Right.
worth every penny.
Well,
It should be something that's planned for
Yeah.
in the near future, in the next year or two. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we'll definitely look into it.
Leo, is that accurate? Is that accurate? Right around between $7,000
That's probably
for
just
install?
material. I don't think that's.
So,
Oh, that's not
no,
installed?
that's the bottom now, that's ridiculous.
For a hydrant? Wow,
Do you charge a hydrant fee?
we did.
That's one of the better points you actually made.
No, I get it. That's a good point. Yeah. Well,
I'm all for it if you guys need me to do anything or have our guys do anything.
well,
I'm
I think
all
we
for
should
it.
do some research and see if we can get some grants.
I always say that there's no price to save a life. Obviously, when it comes to buying things,
Right.
There has to be some discussions there, where that money's gonna come from. It's gonna be a joint effort, if it can be a joint effort.
Yeah,
But yeah, if we can make it happen, I'm all for it, you guys the equipment that you need.
especially if we could make it a joint effort with all 3 entities, you know, the IMA, the borough, and Buchanan Township, since, you know, like Rosebud and all that's Buchanan Township, so
Right.
if we could
I'm
go.
not trying to pass
You
it
don't have
on.
anything.
No, I agree.
Right.
I understand.
That's just the borough.
Well, actually, when, now, yeah, we cover parts of Victoria Township, but what we're getting into now is with Glendale Fire Department and the hydrants. They can't hook up to any hydrant in Victoria Township without going hard section. And that gives them 50 feet to set their truck to the fire. Because unless they have the 5-inch connector to go on to hook up, they can't lay 1,000 feet of 5-inch from a hydrant. So,
As a matter of fact, a lot of times when Colport does have a fire, that's what we're ordered to do.
Yeah.
Is hit their hydrants. They're the ones that get there.
Again, I'm not trying to pass the buck on, but is the fire department able to hold a benefit dinner or anything to get community support? Because it is a benefit to the community if we get some other entities to throw in portions of the money to come up with better. Okay. I figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll bring this up to the borough and Buchanan Township. I think, when's their next meeting? Does anybody know when their next meeting is?
First Tuesday.
First Tuesday.
Is it be the first Tuesday? What do you guys think about that?
Should be able to get some money under public safety.
What you guys think?
I think you just passed them over to be a part of you guys.
A part?
So I said, I think you just passed up.
You're talking over $20,000 there to replace them 4 hydrants.
Well, we're working on the hydrants, get the connectors first.
Huh?
Do the
Well, no,
connectors
we're trying to get it
first,
all.
not the hydrants, you have to do it all at one time.
Try to get it all.
Yeah.
I don't know if USDA grants are counted, I don't know.
Hey, man, there's more on vehicles and equipment right now.
Leo, can you provide some information for the next board meeting or for the, to the board members, if there is? I mean, you guys have grant writers over there, right?
It's kind of us.
I could reach out to Dallas Cathcart, like I said, and see what he is.
Yeah.
He should go to help us out.
Gotcha. Ours does, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, we do. No, I do ours.
Well, and if you do hire a grant writer, they're expensive.
They are. They are.
The thing with our grant writers is we can't pay more than 10% to have it done. Every grant that we write, if we have a writer do it, they can only do up to charge 10% of the total grant.
I wasn't saying just to have it written,
Yeah.
I was to see what money would be out there.
What's
what
out
grants
there.
you could even just apply for.
For that, probably,
Okay.
because right now the grants out now are basically for trucks, hose.
Well, I'm talking our
Yeah, yours, that's
Borough
what
could apply for a grant.
That's what I said, that's what I'm
Does
getting
the
at.
borough have a grant writer?
I don't think they have a writer, but we can look and see what they have available.
Amber writes our grants.
Yeah, but she'll do some research and see what's
See what's
available.
available out there.
See what's
There's
there.
probably a lot more available for the municipal and double what there is for us.
Yeah,
So,
we'll definitely do some digging and see what we can come up with. Yeah, appreciate it.
If you collect a hydrant fee, is that money put into escrow?
I'm not sure.
Or do you have a balance on what your hydrant fees?
I think it all goes into the same bucket, I think, but I'm not positive on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Engineers report. Leo, you're up.
That's the storage.
Zeke, that's why I go,
Storage and moving.
quick man.
I think everybody's wondering.
They are, if you look around there, anywhere you go, you see.
I have a question about that. Don't argue with us. Okay, on the water line project, we had.
The direct parcel on the house.
The inside, the pre-construction meeting held on April 11th. CNR, in discussions with them, they want to issue the notice to proceed dated April 29th. They don't really think they're actually going to start work till April 26th, but there will be some material deliveries and setup the week before they get started. So I have a notice to proceed here for the board to approve and sign for April 29th. I do have the first PennVest reimbursement request prepared. As soon as we get the ACH finalized, we can submit that for reimbursement. And submittal review is ongoing.
That's it.
Pretty much it.
On that topic, Tom, I want to add, at the pre-construction meeting, they are dating the notice to proceed for April 29th. The contractor may come in that week, but it's likely that work will start on May 6th. The one question that I know we'll get phone calls about is the work time. They are to start at 7 a.m., Leo?
Yes.
So if there is work being done in your neighborhoods prior to 7, feel free to call me and I'll make sure that it doesn't start before 7 o'clock. Because that contractor did say that those guys like to get in and get out. And if you give them a little bit of leeway, they'll start before 7 o'clock. So if that's an issue, and I was personally work third shift, so when I come home, I like to sleep and can't sleep when there's equipment running outside, whatever. So if there's any issues or noise complaints, the work schedule, it starts at 7 o'clock. The end time is 5, Leo?
Yes. Unless I have to finish something up.
Okay. Any questions, feel free to call the office. You can direct them to me. I'll get back to you personally.
I have a question about this project, and I don't think it was ever turned on discussed. For on the main drag there on Market Street and Road, or in the back end of Rosebud, the service lines that turn on go underneath that state road. are they gonna pull new three-quarter over to the curb stop on the other side of the road, or are they just gonna turn and hook them up?
I haven't, I looked over some plans, but this is designed well before I was here. Leo, can you answer that?
The service lines, you gotta go back across the state road, they're gonna put new ones,
Yes.
push them through.
Yeah. Back over to the curb stop?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that it, Leah?
Yes.
Operators report.
Okay. Operator report, April 2024. The plant produced a total of 2,897,800 gallons in the month of March. Reservoir is obviously full with all the rain that we have. The air compressor, I reached out today. So the last meeting, Rockwell had not provided us a price on labor. Their price for labor did come in, and it actually exceeded the price from Kaiser. So Kaiser is low on that. Kaiser has ordered the equipment, and they will do the install. We reached out to a few electricians. I have a quote from S&J Electric, Kogan Electric. The Kogan quote was already in their original quote. There was a line item for installation or an electric hookup, but Mar Electric looks like they are low. They're going to come in and do the disconnect so that Kaiser can rip out the old unit, because Kaiser will not touch any electrical work. Kaiser will come in after the electric's been disconnected, rip out the old unit, install the new unit, and then Mayer Electric will come back in and run wiring and run power to the new unit once it's installed. So that quote is attached to your operating agreement. We're still a few weeks out from that unit even being delivered. Membrane cleanings, there was an EFM done. The next full CIP will be scheduled for the end of April. There's a quote in your packet. We want to start on hydrant flushing. So obviously hydrants are a hot button tonight, but in order to do the flushing, there is not, at least to my knowledge, not a dechlor system up there. And I will not approve the flushing program to start until we get a dechlor system. So that chlorinated water needs to be, the chlorine needs to be dissipated before it releases that water into a storm drain or into a stream. Obviously, there's some stock trough streams around. The quote roughly for that is roughly around $1,400. That will include a pressure gauge on that assembly, so they can pressure test the hydrant while they flush it. And then they can also kill the chlorine in there before it's released into any waterways. So I do need permission to purchase that before we start the flushing program.
Question about the end on that, though. Is it a quick connector that's short fitting?
I can't tell from the pictures, but I'll make sure that whatever we get will work. Obviously, we might want to push that off until we see if we're going to change those hydrants out. Instead of buying something now,
How they flush it before?
Well, I'm sorry, what's that, Tom?
How'd they flush it before?
I can answer that before.
All right.
That's usually done on an annual basis.
I thought so. What's that?
Because then we were told around told to flush and storm.
Okay. I was just curious.
The PennDOT millings have not been added onto the website for us to purchase yet. We've reached out to Ted at Hollywood PennDOT numerous times because we did get the motion to purchase those last meeting, and the way that it was explained to me is he approves however many tons are available, but it has to go through Harrisburg. They upload the inventory onto a website, and then once that is available, you can get on and purchase it at that $5 per ton price. So we have tried to reach out to him and have not heard back. And there's also been phone calls to Bulldog Trucking, as he was the low bid on the trucking, and I believe we got the motion to use him for the deliveries. So I want to coordinate with him, obviously, to get a schedule, because we're not going to take that all at one time.
You might want to. That's stockpile one.
Well, there's only so many allotted, so whatever we purchase, they have to hold it there. And he said he's willing to work with us on the time.
They do.
He did say that. I
That
think
takes stockpile.
If you pay for it, they have to hold it.
There ain't very much left over there now.
Well, if you pay for it, whatever you pay for, they have to give it to you.
They have dozer up there right now.
Yeah,
That's their
dozer.
thing. They're taking big chunks out of it, just keep
It
it.
looks like a process of some of it.
They gotta regrind
Keeping
it.
it turned up.
Yeah,
They
there's
regrind it.
hardly any there compared to what it was.
If it sets, it gets in big, and they gotta regrind it.
Meter readings for April were completed last week, finished up last week, and there was a handful of meters sent out, meter reading information sent out to Randy Mitchell of RAC, as there's still a handful of meters not giving us accurate data, or shouldn't say accurate data or inaccurate data that doesn't correlate with what it should, in my opinion. So I rely on Randy and Sam McCart to explain to me how that data is getting inputted into the system, where it's coming from. Daniel Mann passed the water exam that he went to take, the general exam, that was, what, the end of March, Dan?
Yeah.
At the PRWA conference. So I think that was the last, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, that was the last of what you needed for the plant at Urbana.
Yeah, that was it.
So he'll be applying to Harrisburg for his license in the upcoming months. Let's see. The PFAS kit for the second quarter has been ordered. It is at pace, and I will see to it that we get that here either this week or next week. As part of my job as operator and kind of oversee the day-to-day operations at IMA, I always like to check in on prices, on what we're paying on supplies. So I did reach out to a chemical company called ChemStream. They seem to be the low price in our area right now, so they submitted a price for the chemicals we use at the plant currently, and they did beat our current supplier out, even including their freight charge. So I would like to switch everything over to ChemStream. And again, I have to check that on an annual basis to make sure that things aren't fluctuating and maneuver that around, as long as there's no issues with the supplier having what we need in a time of need.
Make sure they can
We
supply
gotta
what we
have
need.
what we need
Yeah.
when we need it, so. Interviews were conducted, so last month's meeting had a motion to hire full-time labor. There was interviews conducted 2 weeks ago out of the batch of applicants from when the job was posted, I guess in the fall prior to me being here. The position will be posted in the progress for 4 days, either this week or next week. I just got an email today confirming that, so there will be more applicants hopefully applying in the next week or so, and we will conduct interviews as needed there. So I reached out to Heather because I cannot find the rules and regs of the plant. And so it came up at the last meeting. One of the people that talked at the last meeting were the representative of the St. Basil's Church. I went up and investigated what was going on there with their 3 bills. They have 1 meter, they have 1 service line coming into the father's residence. After the meter, so that all that the water is accounted for, it is quarter turn valved off, and there's lines running to the hall, into the church. Now, I made the decision to inactivate those 2 bills until we determined what was right, what was fair, and what correlated with our rules and regs. And after reviewing the rules and regs today, there's a lot of gray area in there. So, again, those rules and regs haven't been updated in a long time. It's my recommendation of the board that that gets done as soon as possible. So, the rules and regs call out kind of like townhouses that are connected. They're allowed, I believe they're allowed, and don't quote me on this because, again, I just got this information today. They're allowed to have 1 meter because it's homes that are all connected. But if you have multiple structures on a property, you have to have individual service lines and accounts. So it becomes a question of, and again, my recommendation is to forward this out to Heather because I don't want to create a scenario. I remember what Mona said at the last meeting. Mona, I think that you stated that you tried to do the exact same thing and you were shot down.
Yeah, and I already have one house.
Okay, so, again, the accounts are inactivated until we make further decision. I would like Heather to review that scenario, and provide us her expertise, her knowledge. She's a lot more familiar with our rules and regs. There's some contradictory sections in there when you're dealing with homes as compared to businesses. So, again, I don't want to make that call. Again, I made the call to inactivate the accounts until we researched it further. Remembering what Mona said, I think that it needs to be transparent and fair to all customers, whether it's a church or whether it's Don Morrison or Tracy. So she needs to provide some clarity on the same basis. If she determines that they need 3 bills, it's my recommendation that they get 1 bill with a usage and 2 minimum bills, because you can't meter, there's no way to meter those other 3, or those other 2 accounts. So make it the minimum, let all the water usage go through 1 meter, and have that bill billed for the usage. So 1 bill, let's just say they use $100 in water, they'll get 1 bill for $100. The other 2 bills will be a minimum of $39 plus the hydrant fee. Any questions on that?
I wonder if that's what they're doing now.
It was that way.
Yeah.
And they thought they were being triple billed. And from what I saw on the bills, I believe that there was a number of usage on all 3. I don't think the other 2 were minimums. And in my opinion, that's wrong.
If you're going to do that, you have to divide it 3 ways.
Or just let all the usage go to 1 bill and make the other 2 minimums if that water's already been accounted for.
I thought that's how it was being done, or not? Am I wrong? Okay, I thought that's how it was.
They did have 3 bills, and I just can't, for some reason, it's sticking out in my mind, that I've looked at so many bills here in the last few weeks, that there was usage on all 3. And like I said, don't quote me on that, Tom, but I for whatever reason, I want to say that there was usage on all 3. I don't know if they were dividing the flow up, over all 3, but that is confusing in my opinion. So when Heather provides a response to us, we can go back and revisit that. I don't want to let that go. So we shut that off last week. I'm hoping that she gets me an answer in the next two weeks, so that before the end of April, we can, if we need to reinstate those 2 accounts and those 2 minimum bills, we can do so before this drags on for months. PRWA was on site last Friday working with Dan. They brought their leak detection equipment in, and we have our new leak detection equipment. And they looked at Upper Blaine City, Dan, what all other areas? I know that we have a leak in Urbana, in the borough. That will hopefully get rectified in the next week to week and a half, is my hope there. Was there any other areas that you looked at? I know that you said you didn't find anything in those other areas, but.
No, up above my head.
Okay. And what's the area that you're going to concentrate on when they come back then?
Primarily, but.
Okay. So that's a free service provided to the authority because they are members of PRWA. We pay an annual fee for that. So it was good to have them. PRWA actually just purchased the exact same piece of equipment that Sarvona purchased prior to me being here. So it was good to get some extra training on that. There was a main break April 3rd that affected 9 customers on South Hill Street. A boil water advisory was implemented by our operators. Bacteria samples were collected after the leak was repaired. Those test results come back negative. The boil water advisory was lifted on April 9th. And then the last thing that I have is there was a chemical order made. This is not on your packet, but I just want to let the board know. I did order some chemicals in the last few weeks because we're getting ready to do the CIPs. There was a new first aid kit purchased that was at my directive. The first aid kit that's hanging in the office was outdated. I wouldn't want to put those stamps, or not those stamps, but those Band-Aids on my worst enemy. So there are some bills there that were a few $100s, they're not over the $500 limit that requires work order, but I did want to let you know that they are substantial. That first aid kit, I think, was like $400 and some bucks. So, any questions for me?
You bought all the new office chairs.
I did.
You did?
I did.
How much was that?
It was under 500.
No.
$413, I believe is what it was, and that was
I
scratched.
think that should come down to emergency stuff unless the board goes through it.
Okay,
Because you've got to watch your money.
I understand.
I mean,
Completely understand. You guys tell me what you want me to do. If you want me to come to you for $5, I'll come to you for $5.
I walked in the office and the guy said I spent all day over getting chairs. That's what it said. Didn't say you ordered
Let
them.
me clarify that. Those chairs are scratch and dent chairs. They're not nickel. So,
It's just $500. I mean,
understood.
no.
But yeah, if you guys vote to
But I'm thinking the
put a
$500
price on me, that's fine.
is for emergency things that come up that need done.
Okay.
That, rest of you guys,
Isn't really clarified.
that should be clarified, shouldn't it? $500 of spending is just for something you need right now.
Yeah, so if we're gonna set an amount, then we
Well,
will change the amount. We'll
It
set
has been set at 500.
Well, then, if we want it lower, then we need to set it lower.
Well, there might be something
But
breaks.
we don't want a gray area either.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, if something breaks and you need it, you gotta go get it.
Right, so I
Stuff
think
like
if
$500, $600
If you
worth
want
of
to
chairs,
just,
that can wait till a
if it's
meeting.
over, I don't know, what do you think? 250?
I'm good with that. You tell me what you want me to do, and
You can, if it's
I'll
over
work within those
250, you
limits.
can reach out to one of us, and
Absolutely.
I don't see an issue with that. Anybody else see an issue with
Motion on that?
that? We need a motion on that? I don't know.
What, to lower the limit?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Anybody got a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Dan made a motion to lower the limit to 250 for,
I'll second it.
Tom Dixon seconded it. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
Yes.
Okay. Is that there, Ron?
That's it for me.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question I'd like to ask you. I didn't do it during public comment because I thought it would be brought up. Is the meeting from February when we advised to bring Vicky back, are we gonna have a vote on that? So,
We had to table that for the time being, Mona.
why?
Well, we discussed some things in executive session, and we gotta go back to the solicitor and see how we have to go forward with that. So, that's the best I can tell you right now.
One question on your operator. When you pay for water, every gallon is a price, is that correct? And what is that, just a minimal fee that you were talking about that you were going to possibly do on three, since it's public?
$39, and what I'm being told is it includes the first 1,000 gallons. Everything above that is charged at $8 per 1,000.
Thank you.
The hydrant fee, to just elaborate so you know the entire bill, the hydrant fee is your water charges, so there's lines on there for water charges and then the hydrant fee. The water charges are a number, let's just say they're $100. The hydrant fee is 5% of that number, so $5 is the way that I understand it.
My question is, how much hydrant, where's the account for the hydrant fee and how much money is in it? Or Mr. Chairman, I think you said that it just gets absorbed into the...
Don't hold me to that.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
Thank you, Mr.
You
Chairman.
say something?
I don't think there's a separate account for that.
I don't think there is either. I think it
I
does.
believe the hydrant line fund goes into that plate. It's $18,000.
Okay. That would be a question for somebody that does the bill paying, and
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I don't deal with the finances too much. Office report. Let's see here. Account balances, revenue fund, $231,298.98. Surplus fund is $10,905.91. Penn Vest account, $781.30. The collegiate, $18,084.90. There's a QuickBooks meeting on Wednesday, April 17th, 2024, at 1:30 for prices. And suggest that the IMA does the online QuickBooks.
What is the total, Tom?
I'm sorry?
What is the total for the?
I'm going to say it's probably, let me do some math here, 241 plus 18.
I didn't hear the first amount you had said.
I'm sorry, $231,298.98.
We need to authorize her to transfer money every month for the, Penvest payment.
Probably do,
Huh?
probably.
Yeah, it's gonna be lined up. It's gonna be lined up. It's gonna be lined up right now.
No, for the one that we already have.
Yeah.
She needs to transfer money every month, we need to authorize it.
That brings total 260,000, Matt.
Say it again?
Total's 260,000 and some change.
Thank you.
There is a financial report here too, if you want to, if anybody else would want to look at it too.
Is that a part of the minutes, or is that something separate?
It's part of our packet, but you're welcome to look at it if you want.
Thank you.
Okay. Lost my spot here. Okay, now we need a motion to pay bills.
I'll make a motion to pay
Tom
bills.
Dixon makes a motion to pay bills. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Dan Smith seconds it. Pay the bills. All in favor? Aye.
The one thing I want to add, I apologize for interrupting you.
Sure.
There was also, there shouldn't be a bill there. I reached out to him and told him that we need it, but we used Killian Excavating last week during that main break.
Yeah.
That labor was provided at $25 per hour. So there was two prices given to us, $120 an hour for him to bring his equipment, or $25 to provide Dan some help. And we also did use Dave Queen there. I appreciate his help until we get Dan some help. So I wanted to clarify there is a bill in there from Killian Excavating.
Yeah, it's in this
For the
financial
labor
report.
for that main break last week.
Yeah, $200 for that. It's $200.
Okay.
Okay. So pass the bill, pay the bills, account balances. We did that. Just goes QuickBooks. Did that whole business interviews for full-time labor.
We need a motion to get that D4 and D4 with it to her. You're gonna get tablets?
Yeah. We're going to get tablets and the assembly.
Might as well get a national standard thread on where we can change it, if need be. It's on national standard?
It's not
See the
pipe, it's not
gap?
pipe.
Oh, it's right then.
I knew it's not pipe.
So we need a
No, I
motion.
think it's threads on it.
Okay.
It's not pipe.
See, if it ain't national standard.
Well, one stands for one central work on all the lines.
You could run a section of hose, you might put that right on, how do you do? Can you run a piece of hose or put an adapter?
One piece of it, you can tell what goes to like this one here, right here.
Put a
If you wanted to
piece of
park
pipe
it
about
about
over.
contract with the hose or they get it up there, you say you drop it.
They make a bunch of different ones out there, but
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
We need to make a motion on that, or not?
It's
yeah,
$1,200.
it's like $1,400.
$1,400?
Yeah.
And it's something we need, right?
Plus D4.
Yes, that's just the assembly.
I'll make a motion to buy the assembly, how much we need, 100 pounds?
Yeah.
What's a 100-pound
bucket will work for right now.
Usually they're 100-pound loads.
Yeah.
So Tom Dixon made the motion
And
to
a
purchase
100-pound
the,
D4 cast. and 100 pound of.
Yeah, what's that thing called, Ryan?
A dechlor assembly for a fire
Dechlor
hydrant.
assembly fire hydrant for flushing.
Kill the chlorine that you're letting the water run down the road or into the storm drain. You have to kill the chlorine before you can discharge that water into a waterway. So
With-
that you don't have any effect on aquatic life.
With 100 pounds of chemicals,
Yeah,
correct?
that's not in that original price.
Okay, that's
That
fine.
1,400 is just the assembly.
Okay. So, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mike Costick seconds that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed? Okay. Change for vacation. Monthly meeting. So, I spoke to the fire company, and they are willing to let us have our monthly meeting here for the rest of the year. So we got to vote on that. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion.
Tom Dixon makes the motion to have the rest of the year's meetings at Argonne Fire Hall. Is there, Mike Costick seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Same time, though, right, 7 o'clock?
Same time, yes.
7 o'clock.
Yes.
While we're on the meeting, one thing I do want to take a minute to apologize to you, Karen. I know that you want it on the agenda, and for everybody else that's here, if you want on the agenda, please call the office prior to Wednesday, give me some time to put the agenda together to get it posted. So I do apologize for that. But Wednesday, please, Mona, Jerry, typically you guys are all on the agenda. Please call and give us some time because we need a day or two after that to get things situated. So I'm going to apologize.
24 hours then?
I'm sorry?
Why does the borough only need 24 hours?
I can't answer that.
Yeah, you would have to know before 24 hours if we wanted to.
Yeah, we gotta put the agenda together, get it out to the parties, get it posted, so if the meeting's on Monday, I can't have Karen calling in, and not that you did, Karen, but not that, I can't have Karen calling in Friday at 3:30 when our staff's only there till 4, so Wednesday, if everyone's okay with that, that's the plan of attack that I'd like to see at least, so that we don't have everybody calling in on Friday trying to make changes to the agenda.
Since you made that motion, you also want to include to advertise
Was that?
that plan for the year. I didn't hear any motion for
Advertisement?
to advertise.
Okay, well, I guess we need a motion to advertise it, I guess. Is there a motion to advertise it?
I'll make that motion.
Mike made the motion. Is there a second?
How much is that gonna cost to advertise it every month?
Probably, it's cheaper to do it if we do it for the year, for the rest of the year. That's why we're doing it this way.
You have to do it.
Yeah, well, it's a lot cheaper. Instead of doing it, every month. If we put it in for now, for the rest of the year, it's a lot cheaper than trying to do it every month.
To answer your question, Donna, the posting for the labor position that the progress is gonna post is gonna be around $200, just shy of $200 for a 4-day post.
That's why I'm saying
So
it's not
if
cheap
that
to
provides
advertise.
any clarity,
When you go down to the mayor, it's worth that.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I was advised that, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, is there a second to advertise?
What we do? I thought we did, did we?
Oh, second. Dan Smith, second. Okay, all in favor?
What are we voting on? I was in the.
Advertising the meeting.
Oh, yeah, the rest of the year.
Aye. Any opposed, say no.
I was in the latrine.
None opposed.
This don't write very good
I
here.
don't know what we're doing on for the audit. Account for Penvest, we need to open an ACH account for our Penvest loan. We need to vote on that. We need to open an account for our Penvest loan for the water project. So we need to vote on that.
Are we gonna do that separate from the Penvest we have now?
Yes. Yeah. We have to have it. Has to.
is required in separate account.
Yeah.
So we have the original one that's like $2,300 some dollars, and then the other one.
Yeah, then.
What are the requirements of that? Do they have to keep like double or triple the amount?
Just as long as you have more than the monthly payment in there when they have to take it out.
Okay.
I don't think they have any minimum balances or anything.
So as long as you keep enough funds in there to turn on federal payment, there's no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leo, is there a schedule on that of when they're gonna be pulling? what
Usually the
funds?
first of the month is, I think, when you pull it.
So we need a motion for that? Is there a motion to open the ACH account at Northwest Savings Bank for a pen desk?
I make that motion.
Jeff Gallagher makes the motion. Is there a second?
No second.
Mike Clausick seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Tom? Aye or no?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I'm busy.
Okay. All motion passes.
Then do we need to, like I was saying earlier, make a motion for her to transfer money every month to the other Pinvest account? From the general fund to that Pinvest?
I don't know, how did you guys do it the last time?
I went over the back.
I don't think that requires a motion for that, does it, or does it?
Motion to transfer funds.
Do we?
I would.
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
KCB went over and transferred it and paid the payment.
Okay. So,
But you were okay with it.
no, I was, but I didn't know we needed a motion to do so.
Well, it probably should to cover ourselves. She could even transfer two at a time if she wanted to, just so there's enough money in Pinvest to take the payment out.
Okay, so we need a motion to authorize Casey Dick to transfer funds into our Pinvest account from our general fund.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a motion for that?
Can't you get more than one person up? Like the same people?
I would say,
Chairman, all like
I would
three?
say Tom Dixon and myself, Tom Brink. I don't know if I can motion for myself to do that, but I can't motion.
I'll make that motion.
So as right now, it'd be Casey Dick, Tom Brink, and Tom Dixon authorization to transfer funds from our general fund into our Pinvest ACH account. And the other Pinvest account also.
Leo, do we know the totals on the new account, what's gonna be withdrawn out of there on a monthly basis?
It's just estimated that it'll be finalized once the project's done, we'll see what those project costs come in at.
So they'll probably certain times
They
should.
estimated it in the offer, what it is. But they won't draw anything out, they won't be drawing payments out while we're in construction. They'll just be drawing interest on any disbursements that you receive.
Is there a motion for this?
I'll make that motion.
Dean Smith made a motion. Jeff seconded it? You second
You
it?
couldn't do it.
Yeah, is there a second?
That's second.
Jeff Gallagher seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Authority bylaws. I'm not sure what that's about. So we need a motion to do that? You think?
Perhaps have the motion to accept them once they're done.
The bylaws, once they're done.
Yeah, once they're done.
We don't need to do that.
I wouldn't have to ever do them.
Before or something.
So I think that was put in there from the previous meeting, is Heather was saying that
15,000, they only want
that's been updated, when's the last time it was updated?
96, 2004, whatever.
They didn't get it all,
Even for ours, if our.
probably 2 days late.
Bylaws, so it's
Scratch that,
like-
take it out of the
I'll refer to her on that.
Yeah, I think just reach out to Heather and see when the dates were on the rules and regs and on the bylaws, and to see if we need to bring them current.
Okay.
Yeah, we were working on that last fall. Never materialized yet. Hey, that's something too, we need to look at
Yeah, I saw that.
getting different.
I saw that.
We went to Comcast over here, but it don't go up that way. It cut it in half,
I know we did too.
in better service.
Some of the videos trying to think it's about it's a safety issue.
Huh?
Like there used to be a phone out of the reservoir. Some cell phones don't work out there, some do.
Well, surely that
Well,
one
well, well, too, you need a phone, I think there's a phone.
Windstream works out so well?
So the copy of the bylaws that I have is moot
You know, we
No longer.
line if you pay for the internet.
I can't answer that, Gary.
$25, but.
I have a copy of your bylaws.
Okay.
You'd start paying.
So you're saying they're moot, they're not, no longer used?
I can't answer that. We're gonna look into the updated version from the solicitor. I don't know what you have, you know what I mean? I don't know what you have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. If there's not anything else, we just need a motion to adjourn. Is there anything else? Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting, anybody?
I'll second.
Jeff Gallagher motions to adjourn the meeting, Mike Costick seconds. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
8:49.